What is crack-a-lackin', everybody? It is Alex, the Boogeyman, here with the other Boogeyman. We're Boogeymen, and we've got a Nutcracker. Why on earth do we have a Nutcracker? Well, of course, the Nutcracker is very popular this time of year. The ballet musical, hear it, you see it a lot. And this week in our club, our focus is going to be about cracking a nut, breaking through the shell that is someone's guard. So when you're fighting someone and they have their guard up a lot, they're covering their face. Maybe they're covering the side of their head. They're covering their midsection, right? A blocker. This is a strategy a lot of people use. Some people like a lot of head movement. Some people like to block punches. We'll talk about a few ways you can deal with such a person. All right. First tip to cracking those nuts is throwing multiple punches. Punches in bunches from different angles, right? Making sure you throw different angle punches because they can't block them all, right? Maybe we talked about this last week, throwing uppercuts right underneath the chin, splitting their guard. Maybe they try to block the uppercuts. They bring their hands down and that opens up other targets. That's why we really want to make sure we're varying our punches at different angles and we preserve the angle. So it becomes more important than ever to avoid just a bunch of punch mush. You don't want that. Don't want punch much. We want to make sure that our angles are good. Our uppercuts are coming straight up. Our hooks are coming around. Our body hooks are going around and low. Our jab crosses are straight down the middle. And of course, those overhands slashing down. That liver shot slashing upward, right? We can throw lots of different punches from lots of angles. We've got to make sure that we change the angles so they cannot block them all. Number 2. So we're throwing all those punches at different angles, right? Eventually, we're going to stop punching. I mean, maybe we could punch forever. That might not be bad, but it's a little more realistic. You're going to have to stop punching at some times. Now, what the blocker is doing is they're blocking your punches. They're weathering the storm. They're waiting for you to stop punching. As soon as you do stop punching, they're going to start punching you. That is their game. So we have to exit gracefully, right? Even if we were to throw like a barrage of punches, and then just step back, that might not be enough. Because again, if they're quick, all they're doing is wait till we stop to hit us. So what we want to do is we want to go out at angles. So I'm throwing all my punches, coming in. I want to step out at an angle. What angle do I want to step on? That will depend on the last punch I threw. So the last punch I threw is on my left side. That means they're blocking it with their right hand. So I probably want to step to the left. Because it'll be harder for them to hit me with the hand they just blocked with, and I'll be away from the opposite hand. So I throw a punch on my right side, right? I'm going to maybe take an angle step out to the right. That's how we're going to exit gracefully against those blockers. Number 3 is kind of a different strategy, right? You want to play the long game. You want to stay away from those blockers. What you want to do is get them to commit to a punch. So I'm moving around, I'm throwing my long distance punches, my jabs, my crosses, maybe I'll mix in a long distance hook, but nothing too committed because I want them to throw a punch. Because when you're a blocker and you throw a punch, that's the one time you can't block. When you throw a punch, you are open for something. So you wait them out a little bit. You try to bait them. Maybe you throw some feints in there. Fake moving in. Try to get them to throw that punch, and then you counter them. And then finally, number 4. This is a secret. No boxing coach will teach you this except me. A secret to defeating a blocker. We're going to get down. We're going to do a burpee. We're going to jump up, right? That's going to really throw them off their game. I'm just kidding. That's not going to do anything. Don't do a burpee in the middle of the fight. But for training, burpees can be great because you really need to have a big cardio gas tank ready when you're fighting a blocker. Oftentimes, you saw us with Canelo, Dimitri Bivol, right? Bivol blocked all of Canelo's power shots. Canelo got tired. His hair got messed up. You could tell he was tired. Sometimes blockers are just weathering the storm, waiting for you to tire out. So you really need your conditioning to be in tip-top shape so you don't tire out, and then they start to go on the offensive. You always keep them defending, keep their arms occupied, hitting them with punches and punches, and cracking that nut, cracking the shell. That's how we do it. Dun 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 dun.